Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pachehra Talks. And today we are going to talk about Azure DevOps. It's a small video just to understand what it is, what all services it provides, and why someone should use it. But in upcoming videos of DevOps, we'll cover all those services in detail to understand what it is and how it helps, what challenges it solves, and how could you use it with all the pricing and everything. Because you need that information when you go on call with the customers to understand their requirements, to talk about the benefits, to talk about how the DevOps can change their business or help their business to grow. So let's start with the introduction. As you see, my name is Arun Pachehra, and I'm Solutions Architect and MCT with one of the best organization, Novintech. I'm really enjoying in this new organization of mine, same like the old one. Uh, so let's get started with Azure DevOps core services. And before we hit the core services, we need to understand the Azure DevOps, what Azure DevOps is. So in very simple terms, Azure DevOps is a suite of cloud-based services provided by Microsoft, designed to support and enhance the software development lifecycle. So whenever you think about DevOps, you do understand development and operations are involved, but involved in what? It is involved in enhancing the software development lifecycle, because development happens in the dev phase, but it runs in the ops phase. So the lifecycle includes both. So it's a comprehensive tool set that helps teams collaborate more effectively, automate processes, and deliver software faster and more reliable. Why we need software faster? Because there is a race, there is a competition, and one who gets in the market first acquires the maximum users or benefits at the very beginning. That's how the business runs, because everything we are doing to support business, doing to fulfill the business requirement and the business needs. So imagine Azure DevOps as a workshop equipped with all the tools and machineries like services needed to efficiently design, build, test, and deliver a product. Our product is software. It's like having an all-in-one workspace where your development team can collaborate, manage their work, and streamline software delivery from start to finish. And that's how Microsoft plan things: centralized, unified panes for all the relevant services like Azure Synapse, right? So similarly, Azure DevOps, it's just not for the CI/CD, but it embedded all those services which is needed to have streamlined, well-performant DevOps practices. All those things are required. It is there. It's a suite of cloud-based services for the DevOps. So Azure DevOps comprises with all these services that you see on the screen right now. Let's talk about these services in brief, and we'll dig deeper in the upcoming videos. So, what is boards? Is it a whiteboard, blackboard? But jokes apart, you do understand we need something to track. So, imagine a big planning board where you can visualize all your work items, tasks, and progress. Progress is something that we need to track. Azure Boards is the digital board, let's put it this way. It is used for project management. tracking work items, planning sprints, and monitoring the progress of your project using Kanban boards, backlogs, and dashboards. So, because you start a project and you need DevOps practices to complete that project or to work on that project more efficiently, more collaborative, and you want to improve it continuously and all those good things that you get from the DevOps. But how can you have all those things? You need a proper planning. You plan the backlog, the work items, the sprints, and everything. So for that, you need something, and that's what it is: Azure boards. Now, Azure repos. It is exactly what you think it is. It's a repository. So think of a secure library where all your code is stored and managed. Azure Repos is the version control system. Yes. It supports both Git, which is distributed, and TFVC, which is centralized for version control, allowing teams to manage their code repositories, collaborate on code, and track changes. And maybe it's relevant. TFVC is, I think it's going to get end soon, and Microsoft is suggesting to move to the distributed one, or maybe wait for the official update. All right, so pipelines, what are those? Well, these are the CI/CDs, the most often used word for the DevOps. So it supports, if you want to picturize this, imagine a conveyor belt in a factory that automates the assembly and delivery of products. Azure Pipelines automates the process of building, testing, and deploying your software. And if you're wondering if somebody has read that book, Phoenix Project, yes, this line came from that book, Phoenix Project, which is all about DevOps, a wonderful book, highly recommended if you want to read it like a novel but learn it like an engineer. It supports continuous integration and continuous delivery to consistently and reliably release updates pipeline. But it is not like you have to use all these if you're in DevOps. You could utilize Jenkins for the pipeline, or you could utilize GitHub for the repos and pipeline for the build. So it depends. These are the service that you can offer uh, on a centralized plane, just like in the Azure Synapse I was giving an example, or Entride. It also has a centralized pane or Defender, things like that. That's how Microsoft like to work, and I like it. A centralized place for everything. No need to go here and there all the time, or less dependency on everyone, or test plans. So Azure Test Plans, as the name said, this is for the testing. It supports manual and exploratory testing and integrates with automated test to ensure software quality. And it has its own pricing. We'll see the pricing. So picture a testing lab where you ensure your product is of high quality and free from defects. Azure Test Plans provides a suite of tools for testing your application in various environment. As per you could choose as per your actual environment for the testing purpose. And the artifacts. So what are those? Well, consider Azure Artifact as a storage room where you keep all your reusable components. It's a repository for hosting and sharing packages. So packages, which is common in multiple application, maybe you could put it this way, or maybe different versioning. So you can share Maven, NPM, and NuGet packages across your teams and use them as dependencies in your pipelines. So these are the various services that Azure DevOps offers. You could use all of them or any one of them as per your convenience, the skills of your team. But it does the task efficiently. If you're running your environment on Azure, it integrates with everything seamlessly. You can also utilize the benefits of Azure Active Directory. It's a wonderful service to use, to be honest. So let's see why somebody like to use it. Okay, let's put it this way: organizations adopt DevOps to streamline and improve the processes involved in software deployment and operations. That's how we started the video. DevOps is an approach that emphasizes collaboration, automation, continuous integration, and delivery, continuous delivery, of course, aiming to bridge the gap between dev, software development, and ops, IT operations. Here are some key reasons I pointed out here as benefits. So, to that Azure DevOps or DevOps practices provide us, or these are, you could also say, these are the challenges it addresses. So, the very first is improved collaboration and communication. How? Before we start how, let's understand how it was happening earlier when DevOps was not there in the picture. Well, traditional models often have siloed departments because we are talking collaboration all the time. So you can easily relate. In traditional way, it was siloed. So isolated small environments, departments where developers and operations team work independently, leading to communication gaps and delays, different environments, issues, and both have a different goals to achieve. Okay, dev has a goal of innovation and operation have a goal of stability. And if you have a different goals to achieve, then of course you want to achieve your goal. It doesn't give a, you know, to the any other team's goal. So what was the solution? DevOps. DevOps promotes a culture of collaboration and communication between development and operations teams. Let's take an example. Let's suppose a company implementing DevOps might use daily stand-up meetings and share tooling to ensure both developers and operations staff are aligned on goals and progresses. Uh, let's take another example. Developers are building something, it is going through various stages, and it comes to the operations in the same environment. Let's make that environment as a containerized one because we would like to use the latest and the greatest technologies. So if something is containerized, your all the developers would have the same image that they are utilizing. Same goes with the operations. So the environment is similar. So chances of uh, libraries not found or not compatible environment is less, right? And how it's improved collaboration because multiple developers can work together. They can have their own branch and work with the single Azure repos. So collaboration starts working. Uh, so yeah, and for communication, we know Azure boards was there, and teams, uh, different other stuff like monitoring stuff. So the ultimate point is, if you're gonna use DevOps, we'll cover each and everything in coming videos. I'm just holding few things, few cards right now. So my point is to stick to the basic and the foundation, just to understand why and what challenges it fixes. So this is the challenge: silos, department in traditional or old ways, but in new ways of DevOps, it's a collaboration. We don't want a team, security team is siloed or development or IT, but we want every team to come together and work towards a single goal, which is the customer requirement, delivery of the software, right? So now, faster release cycles and time to market. Well, earlier it was lengthy and infrequent release cycle can delay feedback and prolong the time it takes to deliver improvements or new features to users. Okay, because Once they have the requirement, they start working. It was like a waterfall model. It will never go uh, upwards, but the downwards. That's why. So how it's solving DevOps? How DevOps solving this? Well, continuous integration and delivery pipelines automate the software release processes, enabling more frequent and reliable releases. Okay, because you can go back. So you're creating MVP, minimum viable product, which is needed. So you're not letting your customer wait for 6 months or 8 months or 1 year because requirement changes. You get the minimum viable product, you develop it, release it, show it to the customer, get the feedback, enhance it. Earlier, it was like taking all the requirement and then start working on it and deliver the product after a year or so. Maybe the requirement changed in between. Let's take an example to understand it. An e-commerce company can deploy updates to its online platform multiple times a day, quickly reacting to market demands or fixing bugs, which was not possible with 6 month releases or quarterly releases. You have to stay competitive in the market. Now, the third one is enhanced quality and reduced deployment failures. So, what challenge is it fixing? Manual processes for deployment are error prone and can lead to failures in production. We all know that. And of course, it leads to snowflakes, mismatch configuration. But if there is automation in testing, deployment, it minimizes human errors, first of all, and ensure that code is thoroughly tested before it is deployed. And wherever it is deploying, it would have the similar configuration all the time because it is also maintained through either DSC or configuration as a code tool or through the IAC. Because if you are utilizing all those things, only then you are utilizing the complete practices of the DevOps. Let's take an example of an online service provider uses automated testing frameworks to rigorously test new code, reducing downtime and customer-facing issues, and deploying and deleting the infrastructure as per the requirement. Not the production one, of course, because it's a pipeline. You gotta have a stage, dev, non-prod, prod, all those environment. Now, efficient problem solving. What challenges are we fixing here? Well, identifying and fixing bugs in a traditional setup can be slow due to the lack of continuous feedback loops. Because if you have seen the code, I bet you did, it's a whole lot of complex stuff, numbers going on. It is very tough to go back and figure out the gap, bug, anything like that. But it is very easy if you have few lines of code. If something goes wrong, you simply fix it, deploy it, fix it, deploy it, improve it, deploy it, get the feedback, fix it, deploy it. That's how DevOps helps. Continuous monitoring and immediate feedback for quicker identification and resolution of issues. That's why, because we work on the MVP, we got fast release cycle. We don't work months on the requirement and then give something to the customer. We give the most basic viable product and wait for the feedback. If there is a bug, we fix it, we deliver it, we fix it, we deliver it. We get the feedback, we improve it, we deliver it. You can simply relate it by few lines. It's easy to find the mistake. It's pages of complex code. It's tough to find the mistakes and fixing the mistakes as well. So we can understand it with cloud-based software company utilizes real-time monitoring tools to detect and resolve issues within minutes, significantly improve service reliability. Could make not exactly, but I have given many examples, so all of them will give you some idea what we are trying to convey here. Now, it also help in cost reduction and resource optimization. Why? Because traditional IT infrastructure management can be resource intensive and costly, but DevOps encourages the use of cloud services latest and greatest technologies, infrastructure as code, configuration as code, self-healing application, which can optimize resource usage and reduce cost, of course. Uh, Increased innovation and experimentation. Yes, we could easily relate with all the things that we talked as of now, how it is helping in increasing innovation and experimentation. But just to make a point, uh, the fear of disrupting stable environment can hinder innovation in traditional setups, right? Because cattle versus cat, if you know the story, don't want to waste time to explain it. We have done that many times, but so with a how DevOps helps here, because with a robust CI/CD pipeline and rollback strategies, teams can experiment more freely, leading to innovation. And you can also save a lot of cost because you're deploying, deleting until you get what you want, until the feedback is positive, right? And because you're automating everything, you have what? You have faster releases. I'm not If you have faster releases for the testing, of course you have faster releases for the market, but here, if you have faster releases, you can get the result of the innovation, you know innovations and experimentation. You can do that easily. Then improved customer satisfaction, because long wait times for feature requests or bug fixes can lead to customer dissatisfaction, because customer losing their customer, because the application is running with less features or with bugs. But with DevOps, you can deploy what? Faster release cycle. So faster deployment cycles and responsive maintenance improve the customer experience. And we are working on the principle of continuous improvement, continuous feedback, and continuous integration, and then deployment. So it's a cycle, infinity loop. You have seen that, right? So we can take this final example, because I love examples which help us to understand it better. Let's take a financial service company uses DevOps to rapidly address customer feedback and improve its app, leading to higher customer satisfaction and retention. Maybe the feedback is regarding the checking out, feedback is regarding how to add the content somewhere, or anything related to the finance, right? And customer become happier. They just have a good impression if they give you some feedback and you implement as soon as possible. They will never leave you. They will stay with that application. That's what is happening with the a lot of applications. In both the cases, if you're not improving, you're not listening your customer, they will leave you, right? Because it's a competition in the market. All right, so that's all about the benefits, but it's not that easy as it seems, because there are challenges in implementing DevOps as well. Despite its benefits, adopting DevOps can be challenging. Organizations often face cultural resistance because they are using their mouse on Azure portal creating VMs, but now you ask them to write a Terraform script or ARM template or Bicep. Oh man, they just don't want it, right? They have their own silly logics, but you know how this works. You gotta need to upskill your workforce, and must select and implement the right set of tools. Ensuring a smooth transition requires a well thought out strategy and often a culture shift within the organization. Uh, I have faced that too, where I was requesting my team to upskill and do not use click mouse portal, but use Terraform or Bicep for everything, even if it's a slightest change. Because if you stick to the principles, you're gonna win. So, in summary, DevOps offers comprehensive solution to many traditional software development and deployment challenges by fostering a culture of collaboration, automating processes, and integrating development with operations, ultimately leading to more efficient, reliable, and faster delivery of software, and you add value to your customer. With this, I should end my video. Well, thank you for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Do not worry, we're gonna dive deep in each of the core services that we have discussed in this video: boards, repos, pipeline, test, artifacts, and everything. Thank you.